right, Doc here from North America. Happy to hump day. It's Wednesday. Another stat is coming out in a few seconds. Wait, it's already out. August Producer Price Index. It was under the expectations this time. And core was above expectations. So let's see where the dollar is. I see it's been in the daily buy now for a day and a half. Went into daily buy on Monday at the close. Didn't realize that until we looked at it yesterday. Let's see. Right there. So what's it doing to the stock market? It's kind of docile. Up and down 20 points or something like that. Nothing major. Let's see, is that the dollar index? No, that's platinum. That's right. I was impressed with platinum. I looked at platinum this morning, but let's get the dollar index up there. We'll come back to platinum when we go to the metals, unless someone wants to see platinum at this moment in time. Let's get to, there is J4X. And let's get the dollar index there. Right, where are you? Not there. There it is. Dollar index popping up today. Okay, cool. And let's see. Let's get rid of that. Let's go to the chat line to make sure someone hasn't said, "Hey, Doc, what about this, that, and the other thing?" So yesterday, the inflation number kind of hot. And everybody got excited, and it was a good sell-off. And usually a what do you call it, a better than 3% sell-off is usually has some follow-through to it. So we'll see how they trade them today if it closes down, and we go into a couple days of slide here. I would think that that's possible at this point. Now they're saying PPI or producer prices are a leading indicator. But they're saying that because of the way it's kind of calm, PPI is a leading indicator. It could instigate just a little buying. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out at this point. I don't really, I don't really see a lot of enthusiasm. But then I don't see, the markets still are higher than where they were before. I mean, let's take a look at it just real quick here. Which one is it? Oh, it's right here. There we are. You can see here it's still way higher, and it hasn't even taken out this low yet. So we'll have to see if that's the low that gets busted and then they take it down to this low. I don't have a lot of opinion because in the sense that, let me see, I have a lot of opinion. I don't have a lot of confidence that they're going to do that. That's all. Hey George, how you doing? Morning. Hey Robin, morning. It's 2 days that it's funny how CPI comes out one day, PPI comes out the next. They're right on top of each other, which is really cool. It gives a little better. August PPI year over year 8.7% versus the 8.8 estimated. So just a tad down, which makes people feel good. August core was up 0.4 compared to estimated 0.3. So it's kind of like a neutral. August core PPI year over year 7.3 actual versus estimated 7.1. So producer prices are rising. So they're not exactly giving the energy that we need. But just the fact that they looked a little bit more stable, probably is keeping the equity markets kind of in neutral. We'll show it to you right there. You see the S&P 500 up 3, now up 275, 3 1/4. See the Dow Jones Industrial Average over here, up 7, now up 4, up 8, up 9, up 10, up 8. You can see now up 6. It's just kind of on the edge, I guess you could say. You see Bitcoin down $20 right there. Oh, you can't see that. Let's see if we can do this. You see Bitcoin down $20 right there. Oop. Oh no, what did I do there? Oh, did I move something? I moved somebody down somewhere. Let's see if we can figure out what I just did to that. Oh, I see. I moved it. Okay, so I got that. There we are. Move that up like so. There we go. So you can see there, Bitcoin, the cryptos are down about $20. Nothing major there. And then Tech 100 now is starting to lift. And so is, the S&P's doubled now compared to what it was about 30 seconds ago. And Dow Jones, same way, it's up 22. So what it really comes down to is, let's see what the dollar index is doing here. Dollar index kind of unchanged. Is that dollar? No, that's S&P's. I'm sorry. Let's go back to the dollar index. Right there. So the dollar index just backing off. King dollar is calming down a little bit. And that's what you can see right there. You see the same situation. Well, in J4X, you can see the green line turned up. Where's that? That was the yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. And so you can see we got a green today. We'll see how well that holds on. Jordan, morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Morning glory. Morning, morning. Sunshine, blue skies. So that's where we're at with the dollar index. Let's take a look at the euro this morning. Right there. There it is right there. There's the euro. As you can see, let's see, right there, the euro trying to perk its head up a little bit. That weekly really is disturbing in the sense that it just refuses to really get lifted, and this is what you get out of those type of things, the slam. Storm should, I think we were talking about that yesterday with Storm, and then we were talking about the three dimensions: height, width, and length, and suggesting that three-dimensional investing might be the better way to go using those tools. So anyway, that's the option tools. And then you can see here the euro, just kind of, you can see it here. It's starting to put more pressure on itself right there. And that is what's really going on there. You see that pressure. And then over here, let's take a look at it on J4X. Right there. The second day in a sell. The pressure's on. You can see it is higher today right there. You can see it's definitely higher today than yesterday. But again, the numbers we're hearing about many different things besides CPI and PPI are really more positive. 47. Howdy, howdy. Could you look at the Nikkei and the S&P? Sure. There is the Nikkei. And that's today. That was yesterday. It's trying to lift off the lows here from the States, that is. And you can see it's still playing with its weekly sell as we speak right there on the Nikkei. Then over on the S&P, S&P is, what are they doing now? They're pretty much almost back down to unchanged, is it? Let's see. Let me just say real quick. No, it's $9, so it's still up pretty high. It's doubled, not doubled, but it's added another 50%. So we've seen it go from basically 0 to 3, then 3 to 6, and 6 to 9 over the last couple of minutes. The pressure is on. You can see again, unfortunately, this weekly sell has been very dominant. That's why you get this type of action out of it. The short-term traders push it up, and then the longer-term traders, which are here in duration over weeks, slam it. Use it as an excuse to be able to sell some inventory. So at this point in time, we need the euro. Oh, that's the euro. That's not the S&P. Sorry about that. And so there's the S&P right there. So it's trying to lift back up again. And at this weekly situation, same thing. It's in a weekly sell, and look how close it got last week too. And then it rolled over. And I don't think we were even flirting with it. Monday, that was Monday, right? No, this is Monday right there. Yeah, no, that's Monday right there. So it's, yeah, that's Monday right there. So they popped it up a little bit on Monday to get the buyers in, and then they crushed it. No problem, 47. No problem at all. And back to the currencies we go. Hi ho, hi ho. And there's the euro, as I said. They're starting to pick it up pretty well. Yeah, dead cat bounces. That's a good way. We used to describe it as that. You know, when I get my weekly signals pressing down and we get into a daily buy, I start worrying about a dead cat bounce. Unless I see the like the hit, like you see right here. Let's see if we can show it to you. There you go, right there. I'm going to make this even larger in the sense of, see how this histogram got above the time manifold. You know, the negative time manifold right there. See if that's, is that doing it? Is that showing it? I think that's showing it, right? So this right here, matter of fact, I'll just go like this even. This right here, you know, got above the time manifold itself right here. Let's draw that line right there like that. And that basically says to me, okay, well, you know, we're seeing some action come in, okay? So that action's coming in. And then the histogram, I'm sorry, not the histogram, the green line is having its issues. It's not getting through, okay? So it kind of stalls out, and it's stays in the weekly cell, but it's very close. And then it starts to roll over again, and then you get this again, right? And so what we need to see this develop again, just showing this. And then with the echo, if the two join in together, so in other words, if we go into next week and this thing is like cruising along and the echo is like right here, and then this all of a sudden starts to turn up and breaks the time manifold, that's usually a good sign. That's how that is like not 8.5 out of 10 times. That's and I'll tell you this, when the blue dashed line, the echo as I call it, gets going with the green line and joining in and breaking through the zero line together, then you usually see some real strength kicking out. See, this is a late one here, right there. That's a late one, and so it gives you a warning that things are not good. You see, there's a fair one, but it's late. You know, it doesn't join in towards the end, and that's usually the top. Now let's see if we can find an early one. And they're really good bets. Okay, so here's an early one here. And you get, these two are joining in. Look at this. The green is even above the echo. And look at the action you get out of it. The next couple of days, you get these two in particular. It's through here on this day here. And this is just a warning right off. I mean, when you start to see both of these things taking off and getting through the zero line right there, not the zero, the negative line right there. Let's get rid of that. That's not good. Just draw it instead. Right there. So when you see these two get through that negative side of the manifold right there, and the green is leading it, you got major pressure kicking up. And then you get one of these crazy explosions at the same time, in size and shape. Let's see. Dead cat bounce. Metho! Erigata. Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa. So that's that is an example of what we're looking for. Matter of fact, you can see it happens there too, and they both join through the zero line. When they join through the zero line, look at this. This thing goes from 113 to 113.86 basically in a matter of a few days. You see that strength in it. It can be a really good, it usually is a really good indicator that action is coming. Let's see if we can find another one. There's one right there again. The two join in. The green is above the echo, or the blue dashed line as I like to call it. It gets through the zero line, and you see it gets through the zero line. Is it right here? Let's put a big line in. We'll make that yellow like that and make it full. And then you can see here, oh, you're not seeing, okay, here we go. And as you can see right here, when they join in like that with that much strength, look at the amount of strength that occurs from it. This is the euro, but it happens in all the products. So it's at 117.52. The next thing you know, Just 4 days later, it's at, what was it, did I say 116? 117.52. It's at 118.52. And it gets up to 119 over a 6-day period. 3, 6. Okay, and that's where it is right there. And it gave you the warning a day ahead of that. And it does that a lot. That is something to watch for in our math. Hence, that's why people get our charts. They watch for that. But if you come to Dukascopy, you get a chance to at least ask about it. You may not see it at the end of the day, but you'll see it the next day. And then you're using J4X, and J4X is giving you that heads-up warning when the hinky turns green with the green line, especially down at the low end of the range, because it does play that 20 to 80 thing all the time, back and forth, 0 to 100. And that's usually a sign of some strength, but it's a little bit behind. And that is that. Okay, I hope I've got that across. That's what I say. We live and die by our charts. We go back. What did we go back to? We went back, months. Went back to June to show you evidence of the actions. And so we look at them every day. And so you can say, oh, well, the cheese stocks, it did that, but it only went up for 3 days. Well, I'll take 3 days. The idea is to be on the right side of the trend, not necessarily trading. So in other words, you're like, well, we got to wait. It's like, yeah, you got to wait. Sometimes you should be long. Sometimes you should be short. And sometimes you should be neutral. You should be just flat. And unless you have some type of commerce going on where you need to be long or short these things, then that's the answer to all that in the end, is that then you can use the dailies and so forth, because you already got a position on. And that's the most important thing, is if you have a commerce of some form you're doing, that's a whole different game in the sense of it's easier, it's not harder, to be able to adjust your positions correctly and be in the right position for your commerce side of business. All right, from there, let's go over to the cable. There's the cable. Cable slid into a sell there yesterday, as you can see. It's trying to lift up today, and you can see the weekly doesn't want to have anything to do with it. It's just dodging it at this point in time. Over on J4X, we're looking right there. You can see it's also in the red today and showing its pressure. The overall daily pressure. OT. Now we go over to, we go to Swiss franc. Let's see what the Swiss franc is doing. I don't think it was I think it was not affected as much yesterday. That's what it is. Yeah. So it didn't get into the buy yesterday. It had a volatility signal. The weeklies held out. Notice the echo is trying to back off a little bit there. It's got that pressure on it. But I was kind of impressed that it didn't flip. I mean, it roared up, of course, but it's in a weekly buy. So we knew that just like the weekly sells, that there's pressure coming around the corner on the upside, as long as they keep on staying above these lines. And that's usually the way it does work, too. As long as they stay above these lines or below these lines, and the end result is going to be, that 8.5% of accuracy rate. You'll find it all the time doing those things. Alrighty, now where do we go from here? We go to... Is it up? Oh, we didn't put it up on J4X. Let's put it up on J4X. There it is right there. J4X. Showing you that cute little green there, right on the end. The Hinky has turned green. Green, green, green. Green. All right, and you can see the down at the bottom, you can see the stochastic is moving up. Let's see. 3 positions, long, short, and out. Exactly. Oh, hey, Robin. Yep, exactly. Silver, please. Yes, sir. Silver. Silver was interesting. It did not get beat up anywhere near the metals complex did. Well, copper's looking very good, too. We'll go through that today. But you can see here, it did not fall into a sell. You can see the weekly is starting to flirt with this negative time manifold. And that's why, matter of fact, that's why when we first tuned in today, we were looking at the platinum. I was wondering, what's the platinum up to? Because I think the platinum will be the trigger. It will be the spark when to be long these metals. Silver has been going down and down and down. It's in a weekly sell, and the pressure's been on it. And you can see it from, I guess, basically from this week, the close of that week. Let's do this. Since the close of that week, it was in a daily sell from here, joined in that week somewhere into the weekly sell, and before you know it, it was having its issues. Even when it went into the buy, it gave you a chance to sell. And then there was a big winner chicken dinner, and then it protected you here on the upside. You had this massive move from the 18.5 to the 20 over a 3-day period, and the math kept you out from being short since we were in a weekly sell right there. And what's curious about this whole thing is that they're not selling it anymore. And that's what we've been talking about. Is we kept on expecting, into the end of September or beginning of October. We've been talking for 4 months. We've been expecting to see some type of base build, and it finds a way to start going up. Because I believe this is, it's a very simplistic reason why I believe that. I believe that with the change of government, our interest rates are going to look a lot better. And when interest rates look better, then metals usually go up in value. And that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. Also, there's end of the year pressures that I always hear about. Holiday gifts going into, between the Indian holidays in India, the Chinese and the Japanese holidays, or in the Asian holidays, going into the New Year, the American holidays, going into the Thanksgiving and the Christmas. There's all kinds of supply and demand issues. So that's what I'm thinking I see right there. Now, let's go over to, let's see, what is it right there? Right there. And that is the copper. Oh, wait a minute, that's right. We're still in currencies. Let's get back to the currencies, unless someone wants to see the copper. And let's see, from the Swiss, we go over to the Turkish lira. You can see right there, there's the Euro Turkish lira. It's in a daily sell for 1 day and doing the same exact thing, bouncing up against the dollar. Notice the weekly is feeling the pressure. Again, it keeps on flipping back and forth from plus to minus. Today it's back into the minus again, right there. Let's just take a quick look at the dollar Turkish lira. There it is right there. And the dollar Turkish lira is kind of at all-time highs, just kind of hanging out up there. You can see that it's the second day in a daily buy. It's 29 weeks, over half a year now in a weekly buy. Since February, the beginning of February. So you have all February, basically March, April, May, June, July with 6 months. August, and now September is heading for 8 months. And that's where we're at. We're 7.5 months in a buy. Let's put it up over here. Let's see what it looks like. There it is right there. And let's just go back to it. Right there, and there we are. And you can see that red. There's our red. There is J4X's red. Right there. Alright. What else can we say about the Turkish lira overall? Very confusing. Not a lot of news on it. We're real disappointed that we did not see what the policy was with those free puts. I guess what they did, they must have gotten rid of the free puts. They're not giving them out. They must have done something to force this product to rip and go to all-time highs again before the end of the year. So they must have not honored. It's not the first time they do that. They tell governments in general, not just Turkish government. They tell you they're going to do something, and the next thing you know, they're not doing it. It is a norm for governments to pull those shenanigans. All right, what are we going after now besides a bottle of water? Canadian. There it is. Wow. Yesterday was a nice jump into the buy, that's for sure. Again, another weekly that refused to, show some real life. There we are. Goes into the buy, and it's, holding to the top part of the manifold right here, the yellow line, the mirror image lines. The standard deviation, however you want to describe it. Now, there's Canadian, and let's put gold up on J4X, and then we'll reverse it. We'll put Canadian on J4X and gold up on the other. Right there. No, not Canadian. Gold. Right there. So this is showing gold is up. You see the pressures on it right there on J4X. But gold is up. And I'm surprised that the Canadian is not moving down. So that was a real interest rate inflation punch in the face. That's what that was. Now let's go over to gold. And you can see there, it's flirting. Right there, you see it's flirting with the daily sell, but it is up for the day. How much is it up for the day? Let's see. Let me go over to here. Let's see what they're saying, how much it's up for the day. There it is. Gold, gold, gold. Gold is... Oh no, gold is down. Okay. Gold is... Now what's that? So where's the settlement? Let me just double check this. Where's the December settlement yesterday? So gold yesterday closed at on the exchange at 1717 with a low of 1706. And this is showing a close of 1712. That's what the problem is, I guess. And now it's trading at 1715. So it's up for the day as far as I'm concerned. Huh. Okay. Oh, I see. Gold is down today. Because it's closed at 17 and it's trading at 15. Of course, that makes sense. What am I saying? So that's why it's showing us red there. The exchange had it closing at 1717. This particular charting is showing us a close of 1712. So that's the reason why. Okay, that makes sense. And so gold is down just a little, and so that makes sense for it to see Canadian moving up. And that's that pressure we saw yesterday too, from that whole action. Yesterday's slam matches yesterday's run up. And then let's put Canadian over here on J4X. Right there. And you see that zoom zoom to the moon stuff. Up, up, and away it goes. And obviously, again, we go over to here, and we see it pressured down for the last 2 days. And this close here is wrong. It's $5 off. It's not down a lot. It's only down a couple dollars. Kind of quiet, really. Alrighty, so from there where do we zip to do da? Now we got the Fed meetings coming up next week. That should be interesting. I think it's next week, yeah. Next week it's interesting. There is rumors going around that they're going to probably do a 1 point. Wow, wouldn't that be a freak out? If they had only been responsible during the Obama years, and during the we had no growth during the Obama years. They wouldn't, and they kept interest rates at zero basically. If they had just raised some rates a little bit then, maybe that would have and changed some policies of Obama. Maybe they would have had some growth. And then Trump comes in and he had all kinds of growth. And they raised interest rates on him at the same time, but he still had growth. So policies and interest rates and inflation have all kinds of effects on these marketplaces. I just want one more sip of water. There we go, that's better. All right, from there we drift over to the South African Rand. Right there. Same situation. Like, oh, you know what we did? We showed you gold for Canadian. We're supposed to show you oil. Ikes. How could I have gotten that wrong? There you go. Same situation. Oil is rising in price. Normally, Canadian goes down, but it's not. You can see it flirting with it yesterday a little bit, but this is oil's been rising in price, and Canadian's been losing value against the dollar, which is kind of odd out of it all. Whereas on the South African rand, it makes total sense. South African rand is rising because gold is going down. All right. Then from there, we go to the Japanese yen. And there's the yen. They punched that pretty well yesterday on the upside. Put it back into the buy. There we are. And so it jumped into the buy yesterday, and now they're pushing it back down again, just like the rest of the dollar index type of stuff. Everybody is reacting, they're trying to react in reverse of yesterday's action. Like I said, PPI was kind of split down the middle, still negative, but still split down the middle, because they consider the difference is that CPI is considered a lagging indicator and PPI is considered a leading indicator. So in other words, the PPI, its numbers are more important in many ways than the CPI on the short term. That's what I'm saying, on the short term. All right. Now from there we go to the Mexican peso, which is the only one we've fixed so far. And there's the channel. We need to fix the rest of them too, with all these channels. And you can see here it's kind of coming off the lows. You see buying going on there, and you can see the weekly is trying to climb back into the buy. Good for it. There we are. So you're seeing that action. I guess they're going to go towards the middle of its range again, go back up again, which would not surprise me any. Mexican peso is probably going to be, remember, Mexican peso and the Canadian dollar are influenced by location. They're right next to the United States. So there's a lot of manufacturing going back and forth. And so if we get into a mode with a changed government of capitalism again, and get away from this crazy socialism stuff, and then that means there's growth, and that's why they're reaching for it. That's usually the answer to the whole thing. If you have growth in earnings, things kind of gain value. If you have stagnation and no return on capital, then what happens? Things lose value. That's usually the basics. And that's what QE has really done in the end result, is they've just increased the earnings in these companies enormously because they're able to go out and borrow money at incredibly low rates or almost at no rates. And so their earnings are going up from that. So in other words, the cost of business is cheaper. Now, what the government's been doing under Mr. Biden, this administration here, is they've been increasing taxes and regulations to increase costs. So with one hand they taketh, and the other hand they giveth, or vice versa. One hand they giveth, and now with his policies they're taking. So that's the reason why markets are down the way they are, is because there's no, earnings is the mother's milk of equity growth. All right. That's the end of the currencies, unless someone wants to see something. Let's go over to whatever's on the commodity side we will look at. Okay, so it's the energies. So as you can see here, the spot month is moving up. And let's see where Brent is today. Maybe it's at 98, 99. 93, okay. Not moving up enough. Interesting. But at least it's green for the last 4 days, showing some life in it. Green line on J4X has been above the dashed line, so that's good. And same situation here. We've been in a daily buy since last Friday Hasn't gone too far. It's gone from 86 up to 89, and that's cool. $3, and it seems to be holding on. It's still in a weekly buy. The dashed line is broken all the way down to the minus, and the green is still hanging on the plus side and even on the manifold itself. So, just thinking, I have a hard time understanding why anybody sells this stuff more than maybe lack of demand, something. And then they could ship it to Europe. I mean, the Europeans could use it for their something, to generate engines and motors and cook electricity, create heat, all those basics for the wintertime. All right, from there, let's go over to natural gas. Right there. You see, nat gas is making a good jump today. It's been a buy for a couple of days here. We got a volatility signal right there on Friday. And we're in that weekly now for, what is that? There's 3, there's 6. This is the 7th week in a buy from the, excuse me, the $8 area or the $7.50 area. And now we are at the $8.50 area. In this case here, it's $8.66 as we speak. $8.67 as we speak. So, there's $8.67. Okay. So pressure's on there. All right. What else do we see here on the energy side? There is the. I think we should look at diesel more than anything else. But there's gasoline. There's gasoline, and gasoline has been going down. So the demand for gasoline, the driving season's over with in the Americas. That's what happens after Labor Day. In September. Kids are in school. People don't go traveling anymore. Run the beaches and hang out and do holiday things. And then, where is the HO? There it is, right there. There's the. That's it. That's what we're looking at now. So we're looking at HO. Okay, so that's heating oil / diesel that's been moving down. Let's look at the automobile. I thought I was looking at the automobile one. RB, there it is. Yeah, RB's been rising. They're manufacturing less of it now. They've basically, at this point, they've turned the plants and processing into producing heating oil for the winter, building inventory. So gasoline is being produced less, so I guess the price is starting to lift a little bit out of that. The driving season's over with, so they can do that. So they've just reduced the quantity. Normally it goes sideways, and usually it loses value all the way up until, I want to say November. We start to see, all the way to, for a couple of months we see it go down, down, and down, but they've been pushing the price down now for over 3 months. So I heard someone describe it as a water bed. The beds that have water in them instead of, springs and so forth. When you press in one area, something else goes up. That's how they were kind of describing the CPI yesterday. So they've reduced half our emergency reserves for war. It's military reserves, really, or hurricane reserves, not economic reserves. But they've reduced half of it. We went from 300 million barrels down to 150 billion. 150 million. I'm sorry, 150 million barrels. So that's what we're seeing there, I guess, with the robo versus. Interesting is that the crude or the heating oil is going down. I guess that's because the inventory is increasing. Let's see, that is October, which is going to expire in a couple of weeks or next week. Let's put November in there. Let's see what November looks like. Add symbol. I thought I had it in there already. There we are. All right, so let me see now. So that would be X for November. There it is. Add November. And let's add December too while we're here. There's December. And I'm going to add January too, because we'll be watching this real closely because of the election. It'll be good election examples after the fact. We'll see how they act at that point. Let's see, F's. There it is. F's for January. All right, close. Now, let's put in November. There's November. Looks like the same. So there's not much of a difference there. There we are. So last 3 days they've been really pressing this down. That's interesting. That's heating oil. And that's November. Actually, this is wrong. The exchange... Oh no, okay, it closed up. Okay, yeah, it's alright. So it closed up for the day. That's good. So that one was up. And then these two have gone into the sell. So that's alright. The last 2 days they've pushed them down. Interesting. Might be just the production side of it. We'll have to see. Then from there, I guess is that the it of it? That is the it of it all. So now let's go over to the metals complex and finish that off. We'll take a look at silver. There's the gold. Let's put silver up on there. There's silver on J4X. See it rising like that. It's been rising. And I guess what it was Metho asked about silver before, but let's just take another quick look at it right there. Looking very good. There's copper. Still feeling the pressure, copper. You can see here the weekly is getting pretty low. We'll see. And then let's see what else we got going on. Platinum. There's October platinum. And it's almost back up to Monday's high. Now the weekly is not moved yet, but it's trying. It's at least well, for the last 2 weeks it's been above the time manifold on the negative side, or the standard deviation there. And then you can see the green has been flatlined, and then the echo, the blue dashed line, is lifted through into the plus. So we would like more of this type of action here, where this thing joins in together, where they both join in together and get going. All right, we'll keep an eye on that. And let's look at the width of that too. I mean, they're pretty wide bars compared to the last couple months. So there's some action going on. Some money must be coming in, and people are saying, "All right, let's sell to them and let them. Well, it's going to rise. We'll put up with it for the time being, and then then we'll get our money back when we finally pound it into the ground." We'll see if they do that. This could be a couple month rally building up here. All right, now see, that's platinum. So we've done gold, silver, copper, and now we've done platinum. All right, so that finishes off the metals complex altogether then. Good. All right, from there we drift over to the stock indices, and let's look at them. When we started this webinar, the PPI had come out, and Tech 100 was trading basically unchanged, and within a couple of minutes afterwards we saw it up 20 points. Over here we see the S&P 500. Oh, you can't see that. Let's go like this. So you see over here the S&P 500 up 11 points. Now it's 10 points. And that was at 1 and 2 points plus, and then 3, and then also it started getting legs after the PPI. And you can see the Dow Jones Industrial Average is having more issues than that. It's only up 56 points. It's really having a hard time getting rolling along here. They're holding that down more. And then you can see Bitcoin was up, was minus $20, is now up $130. So you can see that, there is no doubt. I'm hearing some money managers actually say stuff about that now too. They're starting to say, this crypto, they're saying the cryptos kind of, they say that they confirm it. They don't refer to it as leading it, but they do confirm it as confirming it. And that's cool, that they do that. They're starting to realize the same thing we're talking about here, is that the cryptos happen to be almost like, if you see strength in the stock market, owning the cryptos is usually a nice winning do. It's like, it does well. You just have to take your profits and get out of there. Don't lose. There you go. There is 64 now on the Dow. They're starting to reach in a little bit. Oh yeah, you can see the S&Ps now went from 10 and a quarter to 12 and a quarter. So they're starting to reach in a little bit more there. Let's take a look at them on a daily basis. And there's the S&P 500. It is trying to fight its way up. It's plus for the day. Let's put it up over here. Right there. There's the S&P 500. Then, what else can we say about that? Just it has a lot of work to do to get going. Then, obviously we talked about that before with, who was it with? We talked about it with 47. How, the histogram is minus and the green line is minus below the manifold. That's not a positive sign there. Then we go over to the Tech 100. Oh, also at the same time, look at J4X. You got the green line busting through and trying to break down. You're seeing that pressure, and you got 2 days of red. And then there is not that one. We want this one, the Tech 100 right there. Tech 100 doing the same thing, showing that pressure. Let's put it up over here. There it is. And it's also plus just like the S&P. And again, these things are buried down below. So we're not totally confident that this is a good bounce, but it's going up at the moment. That's what it comes down to. Hence, I guess why, if you're going to look at things like, you'd look at it in the sense of like this, the intraday trade, it goes in, we get a volatility signal right here, and we get a nice little run out of it there into the buy, we get some weakness here, and even with the volatility pump, it smashes it and stays in the sell. So it's been in the sell from here. Is it there? Yeah. Let me see. No. So the sell was here, right there. And so it's now just getting back into the buy again. We get into a volatility signal there, and it gets into the buy, and it's been climbing since. So intraday is more the name of the game, and we only have about 10 minutes before the U.S. Open, so it's getting sloppy. Notice it's turning into a triangle. It's getting tight there now. Let's get back to the stock indices on a day basis, and let's shift over to the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Same situation with lots of pressure. Let's put it up over here. Right there. So it really makes it really tough to want to do anything more than not put bull spreads on or bear spreads, but just trade it intraday. Well, it's got this problem of, the daily going one way and the weekly going another. In this case here, they're both joined in together. But the problem is that they're kind of at the bottom of the range, so I'm not really super brave to want to put on a put spread, and we'll show you what we mean by that. We're going to move that up, make it more clearer there. And as you can see, the histogram and the green line and all like that are well down below, and you can see the low there. So maybe another day, excuse me, maybe it'll turn up a higher low. Today we'll see how it plays out. And same situation on the weekly. There, and there. They're all in that range. They're at the low end of the range there. So, when it gets down to the low end of the range, we have a tendency to see these things go up, even if it's just a daily, not a weekly. Especially when it gets back into a daily buy. So, really, at this point, it's trying to tell you, Now, long-term investors, you use this to dollar cost average into your equities. So you're always putting money into them either way. With long-term investors, they do it as an average. They buy a little at the beginning of the month. They might buy a little bit at the end of the month, or in the middle of the month or something like that. Just kind of play around with it a little bit, and then, but not all their position. If they have, let's say it's a average person, they're investing $10,000 a year or $5,000 a year, well then obviously that breaks it down to $500, or let's say $400 a month on $5,000. If it's $1,000, it breaks it down to $80 a month. And so you're not plowing all your money in at once. You do it on a month-to-month average. All right, and let's take a look at one other stock index. We don't usually look at it, but someone had asked before about it, and that is right there. And that is the Russell 2000. This is the big spec stock index. So this is taking the position of the old Tech 100. And you can see here, well off of its lows from a while ago, back in June, just like the rest of the stock market. We are in a weekly buy. It is flirting with a weekly sell this week. Right there. And that's what did it, that one right there, that big slam. But notice it's lifting up just like the rest of them. It's trying to get going. And obviously if this will turn up, today's what, Wednesday, right? They could, I don't know, we'll see what happens Thursday and Friday. And by the end of the day, we have a good 3 days though of trading. And we'll see how they play it out. Let's see. All right, that's it there. Oh, I know what we do. We look at cryptos too. There it is. Now, they didn't put it into the sell yesterday, but they're doing it today. And you can see it's been in the weekly sell since this week right there. And there's the Friday of it. And we were in a daily buy for this little pop. And then smasharoo. All right, that concludes, I guess, the dailies. Let's see, what else do we normally look at this point? Take a look at bonds real quick. You can see bonds have had pressure on them. And they still do. And we're seeing the upside down, or the contango situation, with 2-year bonds are trading in the 370s. And the 30-year is trading like at, 310 or 315. So let me see where it's at. Let's see, we can put it up on the screen even. We'll show you the yield. Let's see, where's it at? Trading. Right there. Pre-market. There it is right there. And let's take a look at the bonds. There we are. So you can see there, 3-month U.S. bond is, actually I think we could go into the bonds themselves. Let me see if we can do this. Where they have all the bonds. It'd be better because I'd like to see what, let's see, where's it at? Interest rates. I know I have a button there somewhere that lets us see the interest rates of all the countries. Where's it at? Markets, currencies, cryptos, funds. Oh, there it is. There we go. There we go. So you can see here the 2 years yielding 3.79. The 1 year is yielding 3.97, almost 4%. And then the 3 year, let's go down to the 10 year. The 10 year is yielding 3.4, and the 30 year is 3.4, almost 3.5. Then look at there's the bonds in England. 2 year is at 3.1, and the 10 year is at 3.17, and the 30 year. There's the German market, 1.73 for the 10-year and 1.78 for the, see it's trading live, 178 for the 30-year. So you see that pressure on the interest rates themselves. All right. I think that's pretty much the name of the game, traders. We will, what should we call this one, this particular webinar? Let me think. What can we call this webinar? What did we start off with? We started off talking about leading indicators and lagging indicators. We could do that because that's a good example. That was part of the conversation today. So what we'll do is we'll put that in there. Today's title will be Leading Indicators and Lagging Indicators. That sounds like fun to me. Title. Unless anybody else has an opinion. Indicators. Lagging. Indicators. Perfect. All right, traders, we're out of here. This is Doc from North America. Happy trails to you until we meet again, which will be Thursday, the day before Friday. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. All right, traders, later. Konnichiwa.